Sega. The reign of the old shogunate is over.
Alright, we're here with Craig now, and Craig, we are looking at Total War Shogun 2, a PC exclusive. Tell us, I guess the first big question is whenever you put a number in front of a title and make it a sequel, there's got to be distinct differences between the first game and the second game. What are the major differences between Shogun 1 and Shogun 2?
Absolutely. Well, we look to, we really want to honour the original game because obviously loads of people played the original game. A lot of the guys in the studio kind of grew up playing the game, so there's definitely an undertone of Shogun 1 in there, and there's a lot of kind of feeling of Shogun 1 in there. But there's loads of new stuff as well in Shogun 2. Like we've got an RPG system, skill system for all of the agents in the map and the game. So you've got kind of unique ways of customizing your agents. We've also got naval combat, which we didn't have in Shogun 1. Loads of stuff. We've got a whole new multiplayer section. I mean, the multiplayer in Shogun 1 was quite limited. In Shogun 2, we've got massive amounts of new multiplayer stuff. We've got an avatar campaign map. We've got a cooperative campaign. Loads of stuff. So it's completely different, but at the same time, it kind of honours the original game.
Very cool. Now, you mentioned naval units now. What other kind of interesting units are going to appear in Shogun 2?
Loads. I mean, one of my favourite ones is the kind of the guys with rocket launchers, which sounds weird, but it's basically just a firework in a drain pipe, kind of a siege unit, and they were useful for kind of impacting on enemy morale and kind of trying to blow holes in walls and stuff. So I think they're probably my favourite. I think the Hojo fire rockets they're called, but yeah, they're a lot of fun. We've got all the usual units in there as well. We've got cavalry and infantry and spearmen and a whole kind of diverse range of them.
Now, of course, the game is massive. There's 65 provinces you were telling me in Japan before. Yeah. How long would a typical couple of playthroughs maybe take a player, considering how massive it is?
Yeah, well, it is huge. It really depends on what the player wants to do. I mean, we have a short campaign and a long campaign and a domination campaign as well. So if you're the kind of player who just wants to jump in, you can play a historical battle and maybe just a short campaign, maybe 100 turns. If you're really into it, you can play a super long campaign, like 200 turns, which will take you quite a long time. There's quite a lot of hours in there. And then, of course, when you finish with the campaign, you've got all the multiplayer options and all the persistent online stuff as well. So, I mean, really, there's hundreds of hours of gameplay in there.
There's also a plethora of clans. There's nine clans, you were telling me, correct?
Yeah, there's 9 clans in the standard edition, and then 10 with the limited edition. So you can unlock the Hattori clan, who are kind of like a ninja specialist clan. And there's also 20 or 30 non-playable clans as well that the AI controls, who will be kind of rubbing up against you. And then you've got the kind of, away from the whole kind of historical clans thing, on the multiplayer side of things, you've got human clans as well, that people are creating and customizing, and hopefully there'll be thousands of those competing on the multiplayer side as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of clans in the game.
Very cool. Now, of course, the gameplay is very much, it's a mix of turn-based and real-time strategy. Talk about how you guys were able to balance that out.
Well, it's interesting. One of the real key things we've tried to do as we've progressed the Total War series is kind of merge that segue nicely and cleanly. With earlier games, you were on like a paper map and then you'd be thrown into a 3D battle, and it was quite jarring. Nowadays, with a fully 3D campaign map, and it's all looking nice and pretty, and it kind of reflects the aesthetic of the battle maps. We've got a much smoother segue into the battle side of things, so we try and keep that as smooth as possible. We've got stuff like land in naval battles now as well, so if you're fighting a battle off the coast of a land, you can kind of take a look at how the land looks in the naval battle. You can say, oh, well, that's the land I'm trying to conquer, and it's much smoother between the different elements of the game. So we're trying to make it much more like a single game rather than lots of mini games. That's kind of what we're trying to do.
Now, of course, being a PC exclusive, what kind of requirements will a PC need to run Total War Shogun 2?
Well, if you could run Empire and Napoleon, you'll be able to run Shogun 2, that's for sure. It's going to be scalable to a whole range of systems, so if you've got lower end systems, you'll be able to turn a lot of the graphics settings down. If you've got a higher end system, then you'll be able to crank them right up. And we've got some cool DirectX stuff in there as well, DirectX 11, so if you've got a high end PC, it's going to look good.
Good stuff. And when can we see Shogun 2 on store shelves?
It is released on March 15th, 2011.